So when it comes to Steven Spielberg's catalog of movies and Tom Cruise's, Minority Report seems to be a film that doesn't get talked about that much. But is it still worth a watch today? Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic, and on this channel it's my job to point you in the direction of movies worth checking out. So if that interests you, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So in Minority Report, we have John Anderton, played by Tom Cruise, and he's the chief officer of the pre-crime police unit in Washington, D.C. in the year 2054. What is pre-crime, you ask? Well, in the future, the police discovered 3 individuals with psychic abilities known as precogs. These precogs are kept in a lab as they have visions of future murders in the city. And after a vision is recorded, Anderton and his team analyze the vision to find out where the murder actually takes place. Once they discover the location of the crime, and since the suspect, the victim, and the time of the murder are already predetermined, the officers then make the arrest. So that just covers the basic premise of Minority Report, and I strongly suggest that you guys go into this movie just knowing that. This is a movie full of twists and turns, and the less that you know going in, I think the better. So this review will be spoiler free, but I will be talking about certain plot points that are in the trailer. So you've been warned. So it looks like the perfect system, right? But that doesn't stop United States Department of Justice agent Danny Whitwer, played by Colin Farrell, from auditing the program to look for flaws. That's when shit really hits the fan. John Anderton comes in to investigate a new vision from the precogs. The victim is a man named Leo Crow. The suspect is none other than John Anderton himself. So John must go on the run to discover why he was seen killing someone he's never even heard of. So is Minority Report still worth a watch today? Abso-frickin-lutely. This movie is so underrated, and I don't really understand why this film doesn't get talked about anymore. Because when it comes down to it, it literally has everything that you'd want in a suspenseful sci-fi action thriller. It's creative, it's unique, it's suspenseful, it's intriguing, it's thought-provoking, it's got solid pacing, sleek cinematography, masterful direction, stylish production design, absolutely thrilling action sequences, and great performances from the entire cast. What more do you want? But what I really think makes this movie work is that it's the perfect balance between a compelling story and a very unique idea. And let's be honest, guys, not all films can do both. Minority Report tackles both of them with complete ease and complete mastery. Thank you, Steven Spielberg. And I mean, let's just start with the concept, right? The concept alone is enough to get people in their seats, right? Whenever I talk about Minority Report with some of my friends, I always just talk about the concept, and then they're immediately hooked. In the future, murders can be stopped before they happen. And add on top of that, our main character, who believes in this system, sees himself kill someone he's never even heard of before. If that is not a great hook for a movie, I don't know what the hell is. And Steven Spielberg and the writers and the creative team behind this movie are able to take this concept and build a world around it that feels fully realized, right? You know, we have some of the main sci-fi things that we see in other movies like self-driving cars and holograms and jetpacks, but it also feels like a world that is completely lived in. You know, a lot of the screens still have that swipe technology, and we have newspapers that look kind of like iPads. This film did come out in 2002, and it was written back in the 50s. And while some of the housing still looks, you know, futuristic 2054, we still have some older houses mixed in with it, right? You still see the Washington monuments, you know, things that we recognize and we know, and we're able to be transported into a world that is not just completely futuristic. It actually feels possible. And I love in this movie, whenever someone goes into a mall, there's cameras everywhere. So the system always knows where you are, and it realizes that, okay, John Anderton, he's in the mall, and then you see those advertisements in the mall. John Anderton, come away with us. Have a vacation, you know, take that weight off your shoulders and come into our store and buy a vacation. That stuff is really freaky, right? Like imagine you going into a movie theater and as soon as you walk in, a camera recognizes you and goes, "Hey Brandon, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. I recognize that you watched Minority Report before. Did you like it? If you did, then you might want to check out these movies." And having a voice constantly talk to you and your sense of privacy is completely gone. That sounds like a dystopian future to me, but it might happen. It seems possible. But what this world does so well is that it acts as an antagonist for the story, right? So we have John Anderton, right? Played by Tom Cruise, and he loves the system. He defends it. Yes, we can stop murders before they happen. People are not dying in the streets because of this. And then as soon as he sees himself, that very same system that he believes in, it's flipped on its head. And now it's against him. It just adds so many more stakes and more tension to the story. So I can talk about the premise and the concept and the world building of Minority Report all day long. But what's great is that the story and the characters and your emotional investment is able to rise up to meet that premise, right? Not all films can do that. They can, bring forward a really cool idea like Limitless or Starship Troopers, and then the movie, at least in my opinion, of course, it doesn't quite match that. Minority Report definitely succeeds in doing so. Now that we have our concept and our premise and our world completely set, we are now able to follow the story of John Anderton and the pre-crime division, and this story is full of twists and turns that whenever I watch it with someone, there's a couple parts in the movie where I always like to look over and just see their reactions. Their eyes just bulge out of their sockets, their mouth drops to the floor, and they look over at me and they're going, when a movie gets to do that, that's what I love about movie magic. And I dare not spoil them. I really do believe that if you go into this movie, that's all you should know. But what I really love about this movie and why I cherish it so close to my heart now, and again, I didn't grow up with this movie, I saw it for the first time a couple years ago, is that it has the emotional impact, right? It's got a check mark for characters, it's got a check mark for story, and it's got a check mark for emotional impact. Everything you'd want in a motion picture, especially a sci-fi action movie. But then it also has the intriguing, thought-provoking elements. So when you watch the movie and you come out of it, you're obviously thinking about the story and the characters and how awesome it was and all the twists and turns and the emotional roller coaster it took you on. But then when you think about the morality and the messages and the themes of the movie as well, and you discuss it for days, that's when you have an amazing motion picture on your hands. Right? Like, it brings up the question of morality, of arresting somebody and putting them away for a crime that they did not commit. Right? Is the future predetermined? Is there such thing as free will? All those questions, of course, I don't have the answer to them, but this film brings them forward in a unique, compelling way. I'm giving Minority Report a 5 out of 5. If you guys have never seen this movie before and love Steven Spielberg, love science fiction, love action, love thought-provoking movies, or if you love Tom Cruise, and especially if you love all of them, watch Minority Report. So anyways, guys, tell me down in the comment section down below, what is your favorite underrated sci-fi movie that you love, but you think that people don't really talk about it as much? Minority Report is a great example for me. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos just like it, definitely hit like and subscribe down below. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.